We'll do it live. F it.
I am not worthy. I'm not worthy of the praise. I'm not worthy of the applause. I am not. Oh, it's Friday. It is Friday. And I guess, during the holidays, it's kind of, you almost ask yourself, almost every day kind of felt like Friday. So today I got almost kind of confused. We usually don't do a Friday show. And I thought, well, I'm going to do a Friday show. Just for a while, go out. We'll talk about a few things. Stranger Things. They're talking about wormholes. I don't know if you saw Stranger Things. Did you see the finale? Did you see, overall, gosh, I'd give it there's something about Stranger Things that has captured millions of people's imaginations, even mine to some degree, even though it wasn't a great season. I think it was probably but they took science. And that's our idiom. That's what we do here. At least a chunk of what we do here is science. And they use wormholes. And so obviously how they used wormholes is an impossibility. You can't. So I got an 8-minute video on my videos about wormholes, describing what happens, the theoretical idea behind it, the mathematical, just so that we understand what a wormhole is. It's important. Carter boy, be gay for 1 second. Okay. Okay. I is that possible? Be gay for 1 second. Yeah. And so I saw, okay, you know what? Let's just learn exactly what a wormhole is. Right from exactly, right? So, they just, hey, look, it's Hollywood, right? Hollywood just, some of the worst science has been like Fantastic Four, First Steps was some of the worst science. I need to laugh. Oh, Carter, I don't know what to do. If I had a good joke, I can punch up a good joke or something, but my friend, I don't know what to do. So I thought, it's a good idea just to punch up. We'll punch up. We'll take a look at wormholes, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about Stranger Things. Couple of, it's kind of an interesting, it is science, and it's an interesting TV show in that it captured millions of people's attention, and it will continue to do so. Was it a bad season? No. It was a great no. No. And it's interesting though. I also going to show you guys. I did not put it in the thumbnail. I'm going to show you how evidence that IMDb changes scores. Yes, I will show you evidence how IMDb does. Given the evidence, given what I'll show you, it doesn't make sense where some of these things line up in terms of the scores, because they delete a lot of low ones that, based on what is in the comment, they will delete it. And I'll show you, I'll give you proof to that. Statistics don't lie, right? If you guys like math, I'm joking, Carter. Hey, you got us both laughing, bro. Friday afternoon, you got us, yeah. Yeah. I'm having a light. Welcome to Friday. It's got the weekend. I'm having about a half a glass of wine today. Just half. I lost my Grinch cup, so I do salute to everybody. A little, Friday afternoon, just relax. 2 more days of relaxing. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Pretty tasty. And then there's some news. There's a lot of moon news. Guys, there is a lot of moon news that I want to go through. I'm not going to do the whole articles. I'm going to do like the surface level on about the moon. The moon, I tell you, the moon is going to be a big story in 2026. A big story. And then one other piece of info, because I talk often about the Kessler effect or the Kessler syndrome. You guys know about that, right? That's where the satellites, we get so much junk and debris where you get a chain reaction and basically wipes out all the satellites, at least within a certain orbit. You can wake up one day and you're like, how come my GPS ain't working? Well, that's because all the satellites in that orbital path have been destroyed. They're all gone. They're toast. They're dead. And so SpaceX is doing something about it, at least a little thing about it. So we're going to touch on that. And oh, you know what? I want to mention. So guys, there's new AI stuff that I am using for video generation that will blow your mind. My next video, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'm just using the next generation of video generation. And it is utterly mind-blowing. And at costs, if you know how to do the prompts, if you know how to, use certain things, certain versions of some of the software, guys, this is insanity. Not every video generation that you do comes out the way you want it to. Then you got to change your prompts. You got to, and I've been spending so much of my time understanding and how do you use AI to possibly generate money. I might even go so far in 2026, if I get to the point where I feel that I can really offer value, to have some sort of a small course so that people, I don't know. I mean, it's just because so many people ask me about AI. I can't describe it. I can't tell people how to use it, to fully maximize it. But guy, I'm telling you, what is happening? I've got videos. I have videos that I have done with certain versions of certain AI that you would think I hired actors in a full film crew that would have cost me $50,000 to $100,000. Instead of costing me, it cost me $1.50. I'm telling you, $1.50 to create some of these 10, 15 second little snippets of stuff that I get. It looks real. It's insane. It's insane. So I'm doing a ton of experimenting. I mean, I'm digging really deep into the whole AI video generation. What can be done with AI? How can it help benefit like your life? Do we have to, is 2026 a year that we have to pivot economically? Do we need a side hustle to survive? The more information we have, the stronger we are. That's the bottom line. And to understand where AI is going and how it can be used easily, how can the average person, you and I, how can we use AI to better our lot in life? I guess that's what I'm saying. How can it, and I want to come up with those answers for everybody in a way that maybe there are some ways, even if there's ways using AI to do that, to achieve that, then anyway, that is something over the next few days. I'm gonna be so busy over the next trying to get this first video out. It's not gonna be perfect because I do Premiere Pro, I do Photoshop, I do it all right. But it is, guys. I'm telling you, if I'm in the movie business and I see this, well, I don't know about movies. Movies is a, but it's crazy. It's crazy where AI is going. Hey, Zara, how you doing, girl? You're writing poetry and music, or AI for poetry and music? Yes. AI music. Are you AI? I am AI. I'm doing great. You are doing great. Mr. Mystic Rune asked me if I'm AI. I am AI. Nano. Fake. Did you call me fake? Would AI do this? I'll tell you. Remember Seinfeld? Do you remember the pick episode? What? No pick. No pick. Would AI do that? Of course not. AI for music and poetry and movie scripts. Okay, so of course I'm a screenwriter. If you love writing, you don't write. Someone who's going to use AI as a screenwriter is someone who doesn't enjoy writing, right? That's who is going to use AI. When you enjoy writing, you enjoy the process of writing. That's not to say there's a lot of AI script writing going out there, a lot of it. But, you know, music, yeah. You know, why would, if you're a musician and you used to make music for Epidemic Sound, for Artlist, for, you know, Adobe Stock, Shutterstock, or all these companies, but before you mix it all and everything, now they're probably using AI to create music. If they're not, then, I mean, look, you can create, if you understand keys, musical keys, if you understand how to create songs and melody and you know, mixing, you can create, I mean, not just saying, you know, create me a song and letting AI do the whole thing. You got to create the, you know, each different track and then mix it together in ways that make sense. It's a tool, but Mr. Mystic Rune, fake. He's AI. I have no way to. I did a side pick. How does that not prove to you that I'm not AI? He just called you basic. AI. Oh no, there he goes. Here's guys, just the Mr. AI. I wish people thought I was AI. That's a compliment. Yeah. And the glasses glitched. Dude, what are you like, Mr. Mystic? Leave AI. AI will literally take control of everything. So if I do, this is some of the dumb things I hear about AI. I do science videos, space videos, or I make a video about I made a video about the gods of Greece, right? Mount Olympus. How do I get video of Zeus? Do I hire an actor and I go film? I need a 15-second spot, so I need some Zeus video. So I hire an actor. I spend 50 grand for a 15-second spot. What do you want? Or I use AI to create a 15-second spot of Zeus. If you're not using AI and you think, look, you're gonna be the people that said, "Oh, the internet's." I'm not doing the internet because the internet's dumb. Yeah, no, you'll be on the AI train very soon. Very soon. That is just a matter of fact. AI is going to the videos that I am doing now, and this is really the first time I've ever created my first entire batches of videos. The cost is not prohibitive anymore. I'm talking about doing 10-second video clips that are real. So I'm doing this one about aliens. How do I make a video about aliens if I don't use AI? Am I going to take a camera out into space and film aliens? If you don't use AI, how the frick am I going to do that? I'm gonna spend 15 grand on CGI VFX on a computer to create a 15-second segment? How do I do that? I'm gonna make a 10-minute video for YouTube that's gonna cost me $250,000 because someone says don't use AI. You will be left in the you'll be in the Hunger Games. You're the one that's being hunted in the Hunger Games because you're so, you're not thinking. AI is freaking everything. AI is everything. And if you don't think so, if you don't think it's going to usurp your life, society and everything, you're not thinking. It is, and it will. It is putting millions of people out of work. And that will not stop, my friends. That will not stop. Even if it's coming from AI, it's still coming from somewhere, which can still be just as beautiful. And that's a good point. It is coming from somewhere. It just creates. It's like using AI. So instead of doing a Google search, right? Let's say you're doing a Google search about Moon landings. You know, the importance of, you know, what do you got to do? That's, you know, how do you get to the moon? What sort of, you know, things are to be considered getting to the moon? Well, you can Google it and go through every page. Go to the second page. Okay, I did. Go re-Google it. Go through every page again. I'm still not finding what I need. Re-Google it. An hour later, you still haven't found what you needed. Or you go to Gemini, to Grok, to ChatGPT, and you query it. Find me all the most important information about moon landings based on this criteria. Boom, there it is. You just wasted 2 hours trying to find it. I got it in 20 seconds. It's all there for me to take. It is a tool. Just like a car is, it's like you're not using a car when the cars came out. You got a horse and buggy. I'm not buying a car. I don't believe in that stuff. I got my house. I got Mabel out back. And when I got to go somewhere, yeah, Mabel might take a poop everywhere. She's a good steed. I ain't going to buy one of them Fords. There's no way. This car thing is just a passing fad. No. Mr. Mystic Rune, you gotta buy. If you're not. Yeah. So anyway, that's the. I'm telling you guys, I've been using this AI, the new models for video generation. It's mind blowing, and at a cost, I can screw up in a video, and it cost me. Some of them cost me 75 cents, $1.25. What do I care? I'll pound out 10 for one scene that I need. Change the prompts. Maybe look, and it's not easy. It's not easy. Do you think it's easy just creating? You got to know the prompts. You have to understand which model is good for what. It's trial and error. It's constantly understanding how to create the best imagery with the least amount of input and under what model. Some models are better than others. It is a jungle. And it's not easy. Don't think you just put in prompts, you know, man walking down the sidewalk. Well, the AI is going to create one of millions and billions of things specific. And you might think you write something down and all of a sudden something crazy happens and you have to read it. You go, oh, I see why the AI did that. Okay. Yeah, you got to, you know, but if I'm doing a video on exoplanets, not like I could take a camera out there and start filming around every star system that's close, you know, within 100 light years of our, you know, I'll just, don't worry. I know, you know, Mr. Mystic Rune doesn't like AI, so I'll build a spaceship and I'll go and film exoplanets. Even VFX, computer VFX, is thousands upon thousands of dollars. People are being cartoonists. People used to draw stuff. Now you can do easily, and this has been around, but it's like every model is getting insane. If you want to create stories now, and something with some of my screenplays, I was waiting for that point where you can create a character and you could teach the AI, and basically it has anywhere from 4 to 6 different vantage points: far out, close in, left profile, right profile, back. You name that character, and then when you make a new scene, you put the name of that character in, describing it, and based on your screenplay or your novel or your graphic novel or whatever it is, what this does is takes the barriers to entry and it lowers it. Now, if you can use this stuff, people at home watching, if you can use this stuff to your advantage because you have this or you have that, whatever is in your wheelhouse. What used to be out of bounds because only the major studios, and this is important, guys, only the major studios, if I wanted to make a scene. So one of the scenes that I had to create was kind of like a Prometheus thing, quote unquote, an engineer in a high-tech lab. And these engineers have a very specific look that I created. And a certain scene happens, and it was a 12-second scene that I extended to 15 seconds using Adobe Premiere. Well, how am I going to do that? Now, if Paramount and Warner's and Universal, if they wanted to do that, they'd spend a lot of money, but it would be part of a project, right? It's a $80 million production. It's a sci-fi movie. Well, Danny Alex did it for $1.25. What does that mean? That means you and me can all of a sudden create scenes. And it's like this far. It's this far from being, is that a real human being on the screen? Right? You are literally now, the average person is now competing with Paramount to a degree. Look, you don't have the storytelling skills, the script writing, the this and that. It's going to take even, but after a couple of years of more refining, guys, the barrier to entry, what Warner Brothers could have done, now you can do. You can literally compete to some degree with these companies. Now, it could be passion projects that you have. It could be for your kids. It could be projects that you want to create for YouTube, projects you want to create for whatever it is. It's embrace it. Like, don't fight. You can't fight AI. It's like fighting the internet. It's like fighting cell phones. I hate cell phones. I do. I hate cell phones because I hate people trying to get a hold of me. Oh, well, you stick with that. You stick with your pager. See, I mean, some people do it. Some people do, and that's okay. But I'm telling you, you will be stronger in life when you understand AI. You will be. It's true. What do I want to get? What do I want to get it to? You know what? Can we do some moon news quickly? I think that this stuff is really, there's 3 pieces of moon news back to back. Boom, boom, boom. We'll touch the surface because some of this stuff is like, damn. It's true. Where are we going to start with? Where's the moon? First, we want to do, we do. Okay, well, you know what? There's a full moon tonight. I'm not going to pull that one up. There's a full moon tonight, guys. You know what? I'm going to pull it up. I'm just going to add the stage. There we go. Let's take that away. Just so you guys know. I don't know what you're doing tonight, but tonight, there will be werewolves on the streets. If you've seen Underworld, I almost said underwear again. Underworld underwear. Oh, so close. I love Kate Beckinsale in there, right? I love Kate. Kate is Celine is one of the best female protagonists ever. But it is the first full moon of 2026 rises tonight. Here's what to expect from January supermoon, wolf moon. It's a great image, right? I mean, we're going back this year, guys. There will be human beings. There we go. There will be human beings going back to that. Oh, have you seen my little ball here? You can't really see it. It's a magnetic spinning moon. It's actually floating. My little moon back here. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I got it off of Temu. I did. Got it off of Temu. Yeah. Are you impressed yet? Am I impressing you? Right from Temu. I've gotten some stuff off of Temu that is absolute garbage. I mean, it's absolute garbage. I've gotten some stuff off of Temu. This desk at Wayfair was almost $800. I got it for under $400. The exact same desk at Temu. Exact same desk. I'm serious. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I got a little bit of wine. I'm having just a little bit of wine tonight, even though it's Friday night. Welcome to Friday. You look good. You look good. You look fantastic. You look awesome. The January 2026 full moon is upon us. Here's what to expect. Yada, yada, yada. A full moon occurs where the moon sits opposite the sun in the Earth's sky, an event that occurs once in each of the every 27 days. We get a full one, causing the lunar disk to appear fully lit from our perspective. January's full moon officially reaches peak illumination at 5:03 a.m., if you're wondering. Eastern time on January 3rd. So that is going to be about 10 hours. 10 hours. Is my math is correct, right? Now you guys might not know this. I just jumped to the important bits here, so we can keep this baby moving. We got to talk. We got to talk Stranger Things and wormholes still. So January's full moon is known as the wolf moon, in reference to the hungry predators that have been known to howl during the long winter nights. It is also sometimes known by its Anglo-Saxon name, the moon after Yule, and as the severe moon by North America's indigenous Dakota people to reflect the bitter cold of the month, per the Old Farmer's Almanac. There you go, guys. Yep. That's all we got. Let's get to the next tidbit, shall we? The moon. Let's keep this baby rolling. We got to get to Stranger Things and wormholes. Wormholes. How much do you know about wormholes? Well, Stranger Things invoked wormholes, and they got nothing right. Right? They just used the word wormhole. What? You're putting a planet through a wormhole? Excuse me. And then of course the chatter is negative energy. Negative energy. Like it's just like you go buy it at Safeway. I'm going to Ralph's. I'm going to go to Ralph's in Costco. Can I get 5 pounds of negative energy, please? No. The race to mine the moon is on, and it urgently needs some clear intentional rules. The problem, I don't know how you, like, I don't know how, look, what are you going to do? You're going to launch all this stuff into space, this heavy machinery. I don't even want to know how much it's going to cost. I don't even know how much it's going to cost. And then you go to the moon, you mine it. The cost of trying to keep human beings alive in microgravity. Like, there's so many things that on the surface sound like a great idea. It's like, have you thought this through, everybody? Humans die in microgravity eventually, right? We die. But there is now talk about mining the moon. There are billions of dollars in it for companies able to kickstart mining operations, even if such returns are still years away. Years away? I'll say decades away. Where are you going to mine? You got to prospect. How are you going to, where are you going to find what minerals? You know what it takes? Even here on Earth, you buy a piece of land and then you got to do some prospecting, right? You got to dig holes. Anyone who is in the geological business or mining business, you think we're going to the moon and we're going to be mining that mofo anytime soon? Hey, it sounds great and it makes a great news story, but space.com put it up. So I thought, well, the vision of mining space for resources. Now, even the asteroids, guys, I did a video on mining the asteroids. There are some asteroids that are worth trillions of dollars. There are trillions. The moon's proximity to Earth and the presence of precious resources make it an increasingly attractive prospect for exploration. Resources thought to be present on the moon include uranium, potassium, phosphorus, water, ice, platinum, group metals, and helium-3. And of course, there's probably a lot more that we just haven't, got to go prospecting on the moon. How much does that cost? You got to build a base. Have you seen Space 1999? It didn't work out well. Okay. I don't know. But there's the next news piece after this one. The last of these is a rare isotope that could help power relatively clean fusion energy in the future. Now, if you can get helium-3 and now you're creating fission energy, like literally nuclear energy, right? You can literally go to the moon, get the helium-3 to power everything. You just got to get the nuclear reactor stuff over there. And you got to try and build a nuclear reactor on the moon. In microgravity. That's a long ways away. So anyway, so that is, we're talking about, so 2026, we're going to be talking about mining the moon. Now, this one is the most interesting about the moon. 2026 is the year humanity, it's true, I think this will be the year We literally, it's been 50 years. Remember, like in 1970, we thought, Stanley Kubrick thought by year 2001, we're going to Jupiter. We're going to find monoliths. No. One thing is that our progress in space is much, much longer than we've ever thought. Why? Because space kills human beings in seconds. That's the problem. That is the problem with space travel. That is the problem with us or any biological organism, life in our universe, of space travel. It kills us very quickly. I am somewhat pessimistic about our chances. We can't even build a truck that doesn't require, changing the oil every few months. You're gonna build a what? To where? For how long? Cryosleep and cryogenics. I just did a video on that. It's not promising. We die. Like there's no way, because the ice within our cells crystallizes and it breaks every cell. We're dead, especially, anyway, I digress. Or do I digress? 2026 is the year humanity will go back to the moon. Back to the moon, guys. Moon, to the moon. Astronauts haven't visited our nearest celestial neighbor since 1972. Now, understand, this is just the moon. This is, how many miles away is it? Does it say, let's finish this part. That's when NASA astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Jack Schmitt spent 3 days on the moon before rejoining Apollo 17. Crewmate NASA astronaut Rob Evans aboard their command module in lunar orbit. After 2 more days circling the moon, the trio ignited their engine on a return trajectory back to Earth. As they flew away, theirs became the last set of eyes to see the moon up close. So now, this is, of course, the important stuff. Now, decades... Hey, don't do that. Now, after decades of ever elongating timelines, and that is basically what happens with all this space stuff. What have we done since the moon? We've put a space station up. That's it. I mean, this is going to take a lot longer than anyone thought. Evolving mission frameworks and years of delay. NASA is ready to go back. And this is the important thing. The U.S. space agency's Artemis program faces its second mission in 2026, and it will be the first to carry a crew of astronauts aboard the Orion spacecraft. The Artemis 2 mission is designed to fly its crew once around the moon before returning them to Earth over the course of about 10 days. Now, they're going to fly once around the moon and come back. We're not landing, but we're going back to fly around, human beings. It's not an easy thing. Artemis 2 follows the November 2022 launch of an uncrewed Orion, or NASA's Space Launch System rocket, on Artemis 1. At the time, NASA had hoped to fly Artemis 2 in 2023, but damage to Orion's heat shield during atmospheric reentry pushed that goalpost by a year and then another year. So that is anyway. That's the big moon news, guys, right there. That's the big moon news. So there's lots of stuff going on with the moon tonight. Full moon. We're gonna go mine that moon. We're gonna go mine that mofo. We're going to get the stuff. We're going to get the goodies. A G5 airplane, and lots of money. Lots of money. Did you guys like Stranger Things? Did you watch it? Stranger Things? Are you Stranger? I mean, I didn't mind Stranger Things. It could have been stronger, right? I mean, it was blocky, clunky. Episode 7, but for whatever reason, it captured hearts and imaginations. And I'm also going to talk about the ending. As a screenwriter, oftentimes the studio says, this is what I want. And when the studio says, this is what I want, this is what you do. Duffer Brothers, right? And you can see that in how they structured the ending. All the ending parts. This is why they did it. And it was a good send-off, right? People wanted to see these characters send off in a way that made them kind of feel good, right? I think they achieved it. It was kind of the same thing like Return of the King. I mean, everyone's making these are characters that everyone loved, but look, it's not the end. It's not the end. You don't take a franchise that's made a company hundreds of millions of dollars and just say, oh, that's it. Out the no, you milk the cow, baby. I mean, you got the teats. This would be the Stranger Thing teats. I am Netflix. What am I doing? I am milking Netflix teats. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. You guys are chatting up a storm. What are you guys talking about here? What? Okay, I'm going to give you a photography lesson. Mr. How could I be AI, for God's sakes? It's not. I've never. Nanu. ET, call home. You can see the background blurry, so it's AI. No, that's called f-stop. And depending on the lens that you have, that's called a cinematic. What am I? Dude, that's basic photography. Mr. Mystique, you will stay after class and you will learn about photography. Detention for you. You are AI. I think that's, oh, jeez. Zara, I wish people thought I was AI. That's a compliment. Hey, Zara, I've watched some of your videos. You're a little charming. You're more charming than you think you are, I think. I confessed. Zara, you remember this? I confessed. Oh my God, there's 100 people online. I can't believe I confessed. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. I watched some of your videos. I think you're more charming I think we all tend to be a little more charming than we give ourselves credit for. I think we do. Zara, you have personality. Okay? You got zest. You're zesty. Zest. And the glass is glitched. My glass is glitched. How? This is fake. I'm fake. I'm AI. Oh my God. Looks like someone's been dipping into the... Cocano? Cocano? What do you want? Cocano? Even if it's coming from AI, it's still coming from somewhere which can still be just as beautiful, if not more. Oh, Zara, I love AI so much. AI is going to be a bigger part of the world than anyone is ever going to think. I talk about the computer chips. AI computer chips, when they speak seamlessly with organic neurons in our brain, everyone's going to have their brain chipped. If you don't get your brain chipped, you're going to be just a dumb human. We are evolving into Borg faster than anyone wants to admit. I don't think I can plant a nuclear bomb. No, I mean, those are, unless your last name's Oppenheimer. But I know a plane would do. I get for what everyone else is scared of. Fake, I think you're trying to say. You are AI. God, could AI do this? Ooh, Hogan. Ooh, yeah. I literally just impromptuously did Randy Macho Man Savage. It's not like... That's one of the stupidest things of Superman. I've said this many times. One of the stupidest things in Superman is thinking Superman would fight at light speed, right? So, hey, I was a kickboxer for 8 years, right? So you're in the ring. When you're a trained fighter, your punches go fast, right? Boom, 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 boom. Like a trained fighter, you won't even... If you get into a scrap with a boxer, you're done for. You're fucking done for in 2 seconds. 2 seconds, you're done for. The punches come so fast, and a jab will knock you out. And so Superman's going to fight at light speed or close to light speed. You're not going to see his punches coming. But somehow Lex Luthor can yell out the commands to a guy on a computer thing who types in the commands, who goes to the clone, who then fights Superman. You're telling me this 3 or 4 process system can beat Superman fighting at near light speed? Well, I mean, what am I missing? What? Are you stupid? James Gunn is not stupid. It's a stupid script. Superman 2025 is one of the stupidest scripts. Now, I'm being nice. I am being nice. If he was a friend of mine, we'd sit down. I said, James, sit down. Did you write that with AI? It's a real stupid script. It is. Can I help you out with it? Can I just put some rewrites into that? I got some ideas. Give me a week. James, call me. James Gunn. I get excited for what everyone else is scared of. That's Mazzara. NR4 dogs, how you doing? How you doing? Yo, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I got I'm going to be working on videos. I am on a whole new learning curve with some of the AI stuff that's out. New models. And they hit yesterday. So much new. There's new models. New. You're like, holy, what the hell? Everyone had all this plan, all these models, these new models for January 1st. Guys, it's sick. It's sick. I'll give you a full report. I will. You come back. You got to come back to Dimension Zero, though. Danny Alex, Dimension Zero. We'll keep you up to date with AI. Whether you're a creator, whether you just want to do something at home for your kids, whether you want to... I'll try and give it whatever I can. Zara is smiling. I love the smile. Never liked my smile. I never did. Yeah, that's what exactly you have to do. Mr. Mystique. Mr. Mystique thinks I'm AI. It's hilarious. I love it. You are AI. Fuck it. Oh, dude. Jeez, that was even a long time ago. That was a half hour. Every amazing leap into humanity's evolution stayed off the people facing it. We fear the unknown because it's different. I love change. Yes, we do fear that. Look, when the unknown is changing, especially when it hits your livelihood, if it hits your job, if you get laid off because of AI, and you're like, okay, all of a sudden you see a lot of people in your industry being laid off. What do? What's the answer? What's the solution? That's the question that millions of people are asking, and they're scared. I think there are solutions. And if I can give them here, I'll give them. Like, as I learn it, I figure it out, they're yours. I mean, I had a hard 2025, guys. I did. Just like a lot of people. I did. So I'm paddling the same canoe as a lot of people. That's what AI would say. Yeah. At least I didn't repeat myself like a scratch CD. See, Zara, you're mentally punchy. I love it. I've seen your videos. I get you. You are fake. So we got a whole, how much you got? Zara is, yeah. AI. Come on. Mr. Mystic. Okay, come. You're just getting silly. Hey, there's Will. Will Manister, Keith Urban. It's been 2 or 3 days since we see you, my friend. Do you want my phone number? I never learned math. I don't know numbers. Will, 4684. I don't know numbers. What's a phone number? Dude. He's high. AI. Okay, Mystic. I got it. Zara, AI will become so advanced humans won't have the ability to fool other humans ever again because technology can copy anything and everyone. That is true. That is true, guys. It is going to be a big problem. It's going to be a big problem for everybody. You're going to see a video of yourself and you're going to think, wait a sec, did I do that? Because that really looks like me. Think celebrities, think politicians. And You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Imagine if manufactured reality kind of like maybe like Charlie Kirk. Look at Charlie Kirk, would you? There's no freaking blood on the scene, okay? There's no blood on the scene. Watch when they take him into the back of the truck or in the back of the car. His running shoes are angel white. His t-shirt is angel white. Nobody anywhere has any plasma on them. None anywhere. Nobody. They're stepping on it, moving chairs around. They're pulling cameras down. There should be stepping in oodles of plasma everywhere. There's none. How are you allowed to cement over a crime scene after 2 days? How? How are you legally allowed to do that? I'll tell you why. If it's not a crime scene, that's how. What happens in the public and what is the matter of fact behind the scenes, it's like, look, we can't say what people are talking about. You know, it's like, it's just not a crime scene. No one died. Guys gotta, like, this is not rocket science. I mean, look at all the crazy stuff. Tables going through, chairs going through tables. His arm that goes from like skinny to thick to skinny to everything to the pixelate. So what I'm saying is manufactured reality. If the government wants to manufacture a reality, they just punch it up on AI within a matter of minutes. They have the video they need, and whatever the reason is or what they're trying to achieve, the government, since when the government using this crap? When is the government using it illegal? Have you ever seen the government? Ever? No, it's just us, right? If we use it in ways, it's us. But if the government does it, this is what we should be, that's what probably, you know, the government wants to frame somebody. We've got video. I mean, that video on the roof of what's his name, Tyler Robinson running. Well, why did you just show us 5 seconds before that? If you got video of him running, you got to have 5-10 seconds before that. You don't? What the fuck? You don't have that video? What? Can I call Vecna? Hold on. Can I call Vecna? You don't have video of 5 or 10 seconds before that, but you have the video of him just starting to run? Really? Really? Am I dumb? You want me to believe that? Am I dumb? A 30-06, which would blow someone's head off? Absolutely blow someone's head off? Manufactured reality. That's what everyone should be afraid of with the government and AI. That is the people's biggest problem. It's the government and what they can do to frame, create a narrative, set something up. And you will never know. You will never know because the media is in lock tandem with the government, right? Lock tandem. It's like, it's only the independent media. Some of the YouTube media. Look, I will tip my hat to Candace Owens. I will. She's in the middle of the storm. I don't know if I could take that. I that's not my wheelhouse. Okay, never. Okay. Mystique finally says, "Okay, never mind. I'm not AI. Okay, I passed the test. Oh, Zara, you must be a fast typer because holy cow, you're like typing. I mean, this is a long time. I mean, you just need to see. Yeah. Where are holy cow, sinister. Where are we here? We got to get to. We got to talk some Stranger Things. But I want to go over the Sinister. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I like Tyson, but I don't like him as much as Gordon Freeman. Mjolnir. Hey, Mjolnir. Mjolnir. Boom. You know, a lot of my DNA is from northern Germany, from the northern part. I believe I am partly related to Thor. That's what I tell myself. Helium-3, the source of the moon would be metric tons that cover the surface with billions of years of sun. Yeah. Yeah, you see, Mjolnir knows his stuff. That's one thing I will read. If you read Mjolnir's posts, Mjolnir is not a dumb man. He's not a dumb man. I learned that, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was like the days just bleed into the next. I don't think it's that large. All the atmosphere of all the planets, think of it as the brushes of a motor, which is what Tesla pointed out. Like, yeah, Tesla's brilliant. Sinister. At this point, I believe there's Transformers on the dark side of the moon. Hey, to the Transformers. Like, I'll cheers. I will cheers the Transformers. What was what's her name character? What was her name? Megan Fox. What was her character? Is she there? Is she on the dark side of the moon? I'll go. I mean, I don't know if she's as, I think being in Hollywood, I think especially for women, it is much harder. Hollywood is brutal on the psychology of everybody, but actresses and whatnot, there's not, it's the desire to stay young, right? We all want that. There's only one thing that does it: exercise. Mjolnir, Sinister, Zara, what do you got? Right? You know what I'm saying? Creative. What up? What I miss? Well, so far, sheet. Mr. Mystic thought I was AI for the first hour of the show. I mean, that's really. There's no. We got. I saw in the news that a famous rapper dancer from the 1980s had to permanently retire because of a rare condition that is now named after. It's called MC Hammer Toes. Okay. Oh, jeez. It's good. Could you talk about Stranger Things and the Wormholes? I didn't watch season 5, but I would love to hear you yap about Wormholes. Okay, let's do that. That's a great time. Hey, I'm still here. Zara. Okay, Wormholes, guys. Wormholes is one of the most misunderstood. Thank you for pushing the show along. I need a producer on their side say, get on with it. Go. I cannot believe I've been talking for 57 minutes. This is mind blowing. So anyway, I'm not going to add that. I'm going to video files, show files, Wormholes, add to stage.
Imagine.
Go there. Add to stage. Pause it. So, okay, this is Wormholes, guys. This is actually a video that I've done, and whenever I do a video, I do like as much deep, and I know a lot. I know a lot about this stuff, and but understanding Wormholes. So obviously they did not get it right. Let me fix this overlay here. Of course, Hollywood get. What the hell just happened here? There we go. Hollywood getting something right in science. Come on now. Come on. So wormholes are very different than what Stranger Things is trying to imply. They just said, oh, it's a wormhole and there's a big planet coming through a wormhole. It can't happen. If a planet were to come through like the abyss, right? The abyss in Stranger Things. The wormhole was connecting the Earth with the abyss and it was coming through. If you were going to have the abyss come through a wormhole, the amount of negative energy you would need would be so astronomically high. You'd probably have to like convert the entire sun into negative energy. Antimatter, right? Matter, antimatter. Or I guess not, no, negative energy. Because you want it to, it's got to keep it, you got to have negative energy to keep it open. If you don't have the negative, the second anything comes, why do I shut up and play the video? Why don't I?
Discovered the secret to harness the...
Start from the beginning.
Imagine
there we go.
If the human race discovered the secret to harness the power of time and space. to eliminate the vast distance between stars and galaxies and erase the limits imposed by time.
And of course, Stargate is one of the most famous Hollywood projects that actually use wormholes, right? Stargate. If you've seen the Stargate, Stargate Atlantis was pretty good. I got to finish watching that. The other Stargate, with the ship. I mean, and then of course, I like the movie as well. So,
to create a manufactured hole in the fabric of space-time that allows humanity to emerge in seconds on the other side of the Milky Way galaxy or anywhere else in our universe. To most science fiction enthusiasts, this is the essence of wormholes, shortcuts through the fabric of space-time itself, cosmic loopholes that flip their nose to the absolute and unbreakable limit of light speed. But the irony is, wormholes are more than just fantasy and science fiction. They emerge naturally from Einstein's equations. The math says that they are possible and they can exist under certain extraordinary conditions.
and this is important.
The deeper question, the one that haunts the minds of theoretical physicists, is whether the universe will ever allow us to use them. In the movie Interstellar, the wormhole is shown as a neat, spherical bubble floating near Saturn, stable and safe, ideal for a spaceship to enter and pass through it, as if it were a car driving through a tunnel. It makes for great sci-fi visuals and storytelling, but in reality, it's pure fantasy.
And that's, to keep a wormhole open like that, it would take so much energy. Now, if nothing is going through it, not so much. But the second something goes through a wormhole, you got problems.
A real wormhole wouldn't just float around quietly in space. It would spew deadly radiation, tear apart anything that ventured too close to it, and collapse the instant any matter tried passing through it.
That's probably more like, although because a wormhole would look spherical and everything, but like literally the amount of radiation would instantly fry you. So much radiation.
Interstellar portrays the wormhole as a stable cosmic gateway, almost as if it were a naturally occurring object like a planet. But physics says that kind of stability would require exotic matter on a scale beyond imagination. And trying to get too close to the wormhole, or worse, trying to enter it would be, well, let's take a closer look. At their simplest form, wormholes are imagined as tunnels, an entry point or a mouth, emerging into a kind of tunnel connecting 2 points within the universe, stretching across vast distances or maybe even higher dimensions, allowing you to exit through another mouth at some far-off location. In 1935, Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen stumbled upon a strange solution to relativity that linked two black holes together.
And that was basically the idea of a sheet of paper being folded. So the shortest distance between 2 points is not, it's folding the paper and of course going straight through down through the center, which is basically what a wormhole is though, right? But you got to keep it open.
They called it a bridge. It was a spectacular theory, but tragically unstable. The throat would collapse faster than light itself could cross it. No matter how beautiful and elegant the math, it seemed the universe was slamming the door shut before anyone could pass through. Yet the idea refused to die. Physicists began to wonder, what if you could somehow hold the tunnel open? The answer was both exhilarating and unsettling.
And that's the key thing.
The problem? You would need exotic matter, material with negative energy density, the opposite of everything we know.
And that's the problem was, okay, if you're going to take Stranger Things, right? They've got a wormhole and they're moving this. The bigger the wormhole, you're going to move an entire, the abyss. The abyss is moving through the wormhole, the amount of energy. And plus, if you're in this wormhole between the abyss and Earth, look, there's no safe zone. You would be fried in a split second. A split second, you would be fried by radiation. If you could keep it open with that amount of exotic energy to keep it open, negative energy.
Instead of pulling with gravity, it would push, keeping the throat from collapsing shut. We see faint whispers of negative energy in quantum physics. Strange phenomenon like the Casimir effect show that even empty space can produce a pressure resembling negative energy. But to keep a wormhole stable, you would need vast amounts of it, far beyond anything nature has shown us so far. And even if you could create a wormhole, getting close to one would be nothing like driving up to a mountain tunnel in a car. The area surrounding it would be violently unstable, similar in many ways to the event horizon of a black hole. The gravity near the mouth would likely be so uneven that it would pull harder on one part of your body than another.
The important thing to remember, when you're creating a black hole, you are bending space and time. We don't see that anywhere except a black hole. You're bending the fabric of space-time. We don't even know what that really means. There's some people that are questioning the existence of black holes now. There's physicists that are questioning so the fact that, look, but Hollywood can do that, right? Stranger Things can just say, they can invoke a wormhole, and the Earth, the black hole, or the wormhole, and then the abyss coming, they can just evoke it, and the screenwriter says, make it so. And then the VFX people go ahead and do it.
Physicists call this the tidal force, and it's the same effect that makes the moon tug on Earth's oceans. As you approach closer to the wormhole, it would become so extreme that you'd be stretched thin like spaghetti in one direction and crushed in another, tearing your body apart into mere atoms. The temperature, it would be at insane levels. Matter falling toward the wormhole would heat up to millions of degrees, glowing with X-rays and gamma rays.
Does it sound like a place we're going to survive long? Even if it's called the upside down. The upside down. Hey, did you ever ask yourself in the final episode of Stranger Things, where were all the Demogorgons? Where did all the Demogorgons gone? Where'd they go? What happened to them?
You could look inside the mouth and into the throat. It would most likely look like a furnace in space, radiating lethal energy in every direction. And the tunnel itself would be dangerously unstable. Wormholes are thought to collapse the instant anything enters them. Even a single particle of light would most likely trigger the entire wormhole structure to collapse in on itself. If not a photon of light, your spacecraft would most certainly trigger it. If that happened while you were inside, the tunnel wouldn't eject you. It would erase you completely.
Yeah, that'd be equivalent to like the Titan submersible. It'd be like, oops. It would be a quick ending, though. It would be a quick
Similar
ending.
to the Titan submersible accident, except on a scale of billions or even trillions of times more violent. So the environment around a wormhole would not feel like the smooth sci-fi passageway that Matthew McConaughey passed through. It would be more like a cosmic disaster, violent gravity, deadly heat, and blinding radiation. The more scientists study the physics of a wormhole, the more it seems they mathematically exist, only to tempt us. But the romantic dream of traveling across the universe in a wormhole refuses to go away, because if they can exist even for an instant, then they upend everything we thought we knew about reality. They don't just connect places in space, they can connect moments in time.
And apparently the abyss and the earth as well, right? We've seen that in Stranger Things. That's screenwriters. Screenwriters are some of the worst at science. They are some of the worst, especially today's screenwriters. They are some of the worst at anything. They just hear a name, a word. Oh, that what it does? Okay, I'll use that.
A stable wormhole could, in theory, let you not only travel across the stars, but into the past. And the possibility of this kind of power over time should terrify everyone. A doorway like that shreds causality itself, opening paradoxes where effects cause their own causes, where history bends in loops. Perhaps this is why quantum physics seems to destroy wormholes the moment they threaten the sanctity of the universe and space-time, as if the universe is guarding its own existence.
And that is basically, Brian Cox says that a lot, right? That the universe, the laws of the universe, the laws of nature basically protect. The laws of nature protect the universe, whether it's from time paradoxes, going back in time, and the paradoxes that are created which is why entropy is basically what disallows any sort of time travel. The second law of thermodynamics ensures our mortality.
And yet, some of the deepest thinkers in physics see something in wormholes even more profound. A radical idea has emerged that wormholes might not be rare cosmic tunnels at all, but the hidden architecture of reality itself.
This is interesting.
Some theoretical physicists suspect that when two particles are quantum entangled, they are secretly connected by a microscopic wormhole, invisible and unimaginably tiny. In this view, the geometry of space-time and the strangeness of quantum mechanics are not enemies, but two languages describing the same truth.
You're talking about particles connected about microscopic. Now, this is gaining significant traction. The idea that the basic universe is a utter swath of microscopic wormholes, which is basically how the whole idea of entanglement works. Conceptually, it is mind-blowing.
The universe itself may be woven from countless unseen wormholes, stitching the fabric of existence together. Could a future civilization one day tame exotic matter, sculpt magnetic fields, and carve a stable passage through space-time? Or are wormholes forever destined to remain a mirage, something the math allows but the universe forbids? That's the haunting beauty of this very concept. Wormholes live at the farthest edge of our knowledge, in the twilight between physics and imagination. If they can never exist, they still teach us something profound. That the laws of nature are more flexible and more imaginative than we ever thought possible. And if, against all odds, they can be stabilized, then they would change everything. The truth is, we don't yet know whether wormholes are the future of cosmic travel or nothing more than illusions, scrawled in equations. The possibilities of just how strange our universe may be could also be the end of the human species, as we unleash powers we have no idea how to tame.
What's going on here? So that is, yeah, that used to be the old name for the channel, Godless Universe. That were Dimension Zero. Dementia. Anyway, so that is wormholes, guys. And that was brought up by none other than Stranger Things. When we talked about Stranger Things yesterday, well, you guys are talking up a storm. Mjolnir? Mjolnir's going... My soulmate. Who, me? Creative. So did you guys watch Stranger Things? So the question is, I mean, ultimately the question is, you watch something like this. It was one of the biggest TV events in a long time. It is fusion between science, fusion between the metaphysical, between that everything that is possible and that is not possible, grandiose, sensationalized topics that and then characters kind of merged all into one. The characters is, I think, where most of the magic always resided and resides with Stranger Things. They could get away with a lot of things, a lot of bad writing, because the characters were developed in a way that endeared them to a lot of people, right? A lot of people. Yesterday, I talked about the idea that there were 6 girl bosses, right? The girl. So I think some people took, you even say it, and some people take offense just by saying it. It's like, I can't even say it. What? Like, just relax, easy. I say that there's like there's the girl bosses, right? There was like 11. There's Callie. There's Nancy. There's what's the mother's name? I forgot all of them. The mother, Holly. And the boys, Hopper was nerfed all of the final episode. Will cried and then did something or another that is it like, you can think whatever you want about that. I'm making the point to say that the original crew was basically, because as they kept on adding new characters, and then the original five, but the original guys with Elle and Hopper and what's her name, Winona Ryder's, were still the core group of characters that audiences fell in love with. And when audiences have such an affinity with these characters, they will give the screenwriting, the subject matter, a lot of leeway, right? They'll give a lot of pushback. What would I, so if I was going to say, what would I give the finale episode out of 10 as a screenwriter? What would I give it? I'm going to show you IMDb, and I'm going to show you how IMDb evidence, statistical evidence, how IMDb changes scores. I'm going to do that in a little bit. You're going to see that. You're going to go, ooh, wow. I get it. I get it. So I would give, it's, the epilogue wasn't bad. It was long, but I would probably give it, you know what? I've thought about this moment. What number am I going to say? I'm going to say like around between a 6 and a 7. There's parts of me that want to give a little bit more. There's parts of me that want to give a little bit less. Like the whole fight with the mind flayer, a 500-foot tall, this massive arachnid, and they're stabbing it from behind. They're throwing, like, what were they? You guys, okay, it's spectacle, right? It's spectacle. You have to turn your brain off. And a lot of people will argue, if you've got to turn your entire brain off, there's no way most TV series could do something like this. There is no way. There's no way. Stranger Things could, because just in its name is Stranger Things. People wanted to see spectacle. Blow my mind. Blow my mind. Go crazy with it. I'll buy into it. I'll buy it. Right? There were no Demogorgons. The entire fight scene at the end where Nancy had to run, and all of a sudden, like 10 seconds later, they all appeared on the top of the cliffs. How did you guys get there? How did you guys get, like, you would have had to have climbing equipment. You would have had to, like, that to me was like, oh, geez, okay. A 10-year-old girl, Holly, got away from Vecna. She's running back in the cave, and he puts his hand out. The vines come out, wraps around her ankle. Vecna did nothing. He was the worst ineffectual antagonist. He was there. Vecna was only there as a placeholder for some other antagonist that was supposed to be there. But they could have written that to have whooped a lot of the characters' butts. They could have had one character pass away. They didn't want to. They wanted to have everything happy. What I said yesterday, one of the best ways they could have created a little tear scene was when Vecna was dying, impaled, and Winona Ryder comes to knock the head off with the axe. He could have changed back to the 12-year-old kid that he was. And then as Winona tries to, about to decapitate him, you see a 12-year-old kid, which was basically Henry when he transformed into Vecna, as he was. And we have sympathy. Well, all of a sudden, movies and screenplays are powerful. When at the end you have sympathy for the antagonist we were supposed to hate. Now it's the one character that we shed the tear for. That is powerful. They missed it. They missed the opportunity. And Vecna could have died. It could have been the realization that, look, the world is bigger than our perception of it sometimes. We don't know the full story until maybe it's presented to us at a later date. However you want to perceive it. And then the other thing I mentioned is the ending with, there's lots of, what Netflix wanted, I'm sure they come out and say, look, we want a lot of loose ends because we want to take this play. Look, this is one of the most popular TV shows in history. They want to milk the cow. I am Netflix. I am milking the teats of Stranger Things. So they did the Holly scene with Dungeons and Dragons. They're not going to say they're going to do it. They're not going to call a spinoff. This could be 5, 10, 12 years from now. Did Elle die? It doesn't matter. Nobody knows. As a matter of fact, Netflix doesn't even know. As a matter of fact, I said yesterday, no, Elle didn't die. Because they left Elle alive because a 40-year-old Millie Bobby Brown. Look, I was underwhelmed with Millie Bobby Brown. I've never been, I'm not a big Millie Bobby Brown fan. I think she's just a very average actress. I know some people like her. But to me, it's just average. To be a 40-year-old Millie Bobby Brown, she's alive because Netflix has the option years down the road to create a series called 11. They have the option because that option is afforded to them by that little bit at the end. All the main characters survived, so they can do an entire reboot. 50-year-old, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. So the ending was all about, and you can see it as a screenwriter, I can see it. What Netflix wanted was an entire ending that was open-ended so that they could take things any way they wanted. There was nothing that really was closed off. Was Vecna really closed off? No. We saw in season 4 he really wasn't finished. There's easy ways to bring him back in the future dates. Easy. Of course, that's a mistake because Avatar is using the same antagonists movie after movie after movie. James, Mr. Cameron, it's okay to let people die. It is okay. Let them die. We don't need Quaritch in every single Avatar movie. Avatar. Some people say Avatar. Avatar. It was romantically fun. I don't think it was structured particularly well. The entire 5th season. I think a lot of the seasons weren't structured well. The first season, because smaller budgets force better writing. Bigger budgets allow for sloppy writing because we'll fix it with special effects. And you could see how story took an absolute backseat to everything. Everything. Every scene was, okay, let the characters explain what the problem is. When the characters explain what the problem is, okay, we need a plan. How many times did they say, okay, we need a plan? And then one of the characters would come up and be like, okay, that's like, okay, guys, this is like, come on, you gotta do better. You gotta do better. And with the power, they could have made this series ending freaking awesome. They could have had doing so many things if they would have stepped back and read the screenplay, cut the budget by 50 million. It's like, you guys get less budget. You better think of more story. Because when you lose budget, you got to you're forced to compel yourself to hook people in with story. And I think Nancy, Rambo Nancy, the actress, look, she did not like her role. I'm sure. When you're an actor, you want to act. She literally just had to act like the toughest 92-pound girl in the world. That's all she had to do. That was her task. What's your look? That's not. When you're an actress or an actor, you want to act. You want range. She didn't get range. She just, she did okay. She did okay. Like I think all of the acting was pretty good. It fit. The casting fit. Easily. What's his name? Hopper. You know what I did? I pulled up the. I always pull up the IMDb. There's been talk about the a Hopper spinoff or something like that. I don't know. Look, there's going to be a lot of talk about a lot of spinoffs because they left so many things open-ended. That's why I'm sure they got the one cut from the Duffer Brothers, and the Netflix people said, look, no, we want this. We want to make sure this is open to us. This, make it, rewrite this so that we have this. I'm sure. Jim Hopper, David Harbour. He did good. David Harbour was really a good presence. He was like the older character And I think maybe the fact that he was in the Thunderbolts kind of carried that presence a little bit. But even from the first season, he was kind of this sense of stability through the whole series, right? He really was. The amount of U.S. soldiers that he killed and everyone killed, they should have landed them in jail after everything. But apparently it's okay to kill U.S. soldiers. And the way some of these special forces soldiers are, they would have wiped these teenagers off the map. 2 of them. I say that 2 of these special forces soldiers would have wiped the entire cast. Winona, David, Millie, Finn, Gatton, Caleb, Noah, Sadie, Natalie, Charlie, Joe, Maya, Brett, Priya, Kara, Jamie, Nell, Linda. 2 special forces soldiers from the U.S. Army would have wiped them and made pancakes out of these people. Pancakes. You're telling me U.S. Special Forces are this dumb? That's what I think. Look, if you were in the Army or you were a vet and you had to watch this, you weren't happy. Are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, I'm not a vet, and I was upset for the people serving. Going, really? You think we're that bad? You want to fuck with us? You want to throw down with us? Look, that's anyway. David Harbour was good. He was a highlight. Winona Ryder was a highlight too. But both of these characters in the final episode were nothing. Their roles were nerfed. Shut up and sit down. The only thing you're going to do, Winona, is you're going to take an axe and cut off Henry's head. That's it. That's all you're going to do. Okay, what are people saying? What are we saying? I don't even know where to. Hey, Silk. Silk is back. Agreed. I'm not sure where we agreed. I don't even know where to. That's the hard part. The last thing I watched was Robot Chicken and Black Mirror. Zara, what time was that? Okay, that's not too far off. It's about a few minutes ago. You're very actually. You know what? Let me go right to. I'm gonna go. What are we talking about? Hey, Cool Cat. We're talking about. We got finished talking about wormholes. We watched a video about wormholes. We educated ourselves about wormholes. We are now talking about Stranger Things. Part 2. We talked Stranger Things yesterday. Today we're talking Stranger Things again. My dad was a paratrooper in the 1970s. Thank him for his service. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, it's as I say, a couple of special forces guys would have wiped that entire cast off the map in a couple minutes. Yeah. And I don't know how many soldiers they killed. I mean, Hopper he must have killed 30, 40 soldiers during the whole episode. You don't go to jail for that? You just forget about it? You should have addressed it somehow. They should have had him arrested for it. Even it could have been a 30-second scene. Arrested, sign this. What does this mean? It's amnesty, but you don't talk to anyone about what happened. Okay. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? Mjolnir, my dad was a U.S. Navy ECM reconnaissance combat veteran 65 to 68, Vietnam Navy SEAL program. A lot of good men and women have served. The guys that I see that are Navy SEALs and stuff like that, these guys are freaking kick ASS exclamation mark. They are all Chuck Norris. Almost. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Okay, that's a hyperbole. I apologize. Shit. I know. They're good. No one's at Chuck Norris level. Except Chuck Norris. I get it. You're angry with me. I get it. I understand. I said bad. My grandpa was a scout in World War II. Today's my birthday. Are you you're not screwing with us, are you? Because I'll put a cheers on for you, Professor Genius. If it's Professor Genius' birthday, happy birthday and a happy new year. No more vino, and that's okay. Just a half a glass, baby. Just a half a glass. Happy birthday. "86 missions, 37 encounters with the enemy, mostly in Laos, Cambodia, behind the DMZ. Laos. Cambodia. He was a mortar calculator. He was a mortar calculator. Hey, Creative, wasn't it you that said Misandry yesterday? You know, because I thought about it after. I said, wait a second, because I was talking about GOT, and I was thinking about Misandra. I said, wait a sec. I had to actually scroll back in the comments. Yeah, it was Misandry, which I know what Misandry means. I know what Misandry means, okay? I know what that means. I was like, next time I see him, I'm going to mention it. Zara, I've only seen him once, which was 2 years ago for my first time in over 10 years. My whole family is so proud of him. He's the only rich genius in the family. I think I passed something. You're talking about someone in your family, right? Looks like it was a ways back there, Zara. Hey, what the hell happened? Oh, I see. Holy cow. Friday night. Welcome to the weekend, everybody. Welcome to the weekend. I don't want to work. I want to bang on my drum all day. Sinister. My grandpa was a spy during the El Salvador Civil War in the 1980s. Hey, we got a lot of veterans, a lot of proud families out there. My grandpa was Army Air Corps drill sergeant and combat veteran World War II, and then a sheriff of Scottsdale's and hunter's safety instructor. Today is my mom's birthday. Oh, geez, Zara, you got it when you go off. You have to call your mother or text her. Say that Danny from Dimension Zero says, "Happy birthday, happy birthday." You gotta promise me that. Promise me that. Creative. My grandpa was in the storming of Casablanca at 29 years old. He was one of the oldest soldiers. Yes. Okay, right. I know. I tell you, man, you go live on YouTube, 15 IQ points, gone. Poof. It's just something about live because you know that you are on the spot. Everything you do, I don't know if you guys can imagine doing a like a live show. It changes everything. Happy birthday to her, Zara. Yes. Most of my family is gone. I have actually, Mjolnir, I have no family, save for a brother I don't speak to, in North America. So look, you and I, we're in the same boat, my friend. You know that I still had a great Christmas by myself. I was actually live. I went live. I mean, I actually had a really good time. So, hey, H4 Harry 259. Hello. H4 Harry. H4 Harry 259. Hello. Turning 43 next week. Oh, shit. That's a very happy birthday to create it. Well, next week you got to come on your birthday if you can, or before, or we'll maybe after or before, if you're going to be going out or doing something, so that we can provide you real time. Zara, my mom was here earlier, actually. We had an hour-long discussion about our dreams. I like the sound of that. Del Torun is goated with the sauce. Today's my dad's oldest brother's dog birthday. Okay. What? Yeah, I know Jason, I know what you're saying. Okay, I know what you're saying. Do you want an applause? Because I'll freaking give you one. You want an applause?
Let's make lemonade.
Look at me.
That's right. That's cool. My mom can barely work her smartphone. Most moms can barely work her smartphones. In the future, do you think nuclear energy will dominate the world, or are we just going to harvest the energy from the sun? I mean, well, nuclear energy should have to, that's fission, right? if we can, it's fission energy. If we can create fusion energy, I know Mjolnir's probably got a couple things. One or two things about this. We want to get the fusion energies where we ultimately we want to be able to break atoms up and then take the energy from atoms, right? That's where we want to be eventually. Sinister, we will have cold fusion. Nano, right? Mjolnir, everything's going nano. I always tell people Dyson spheres and all that crap is just Soviet era garbage. Even Freeman Dyson was embarrassed by it. Nothing's going that big. Everything's going nano. Nano. It's just suppressed technology right now. Basically the same type of energy that you look up at the atmosphere. Max says hello. Hey, we got a new commenter. Always like the new commenters. Hello, Max. Love the profile pic. I saw you that night first, right? So no, okay. Stranger Things. That's amazing. 2010s, I think. Actually, we're good. Yeah. You got the old chat. So Stranger Things. So I look. I think if you're going to Stranger Things is different things to different people, right? It's different things to different people. Some people are going to love it, diehard fans, but here's IMDb, and this is how IMDb changes scores. You will see it from the evidence. IMDb. I actually have other evidence of how badly IMDb deletes scores. They're always low scores. And I believe that actually companies pay IMDb, which if you remember, a company called Fashion Nova was taken charged by the Justice Department 4 years ago because they were changing or they weren't including low scores on their product reviews. And they had to pay a fine of, I forgot how many millions of dollars. Funny how just a relatively small company is charged with it. While IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm sure every other big company radically manipulates their scores for everything. But they get away with it. But Fashion Nova got nailed. How come everyone's not looked into? Why is it only a select smaller companies that get looked into? That's what I like to know. Here is IMDb. And this is what I'm going to show you. Let me show it to you right now. I'm going to remove this stuff from stage. So share screen, Stranger Things, IMDb. I don't want to work. I want to play on my game all day. So, okay. So this is, can I make this a little bit bigger? I think there. So this is IMDb. We see that it has a 7.9 right now. Oh, let me fix. I got stuff right in my face. I got things right in my face. There we go. So you see a 7.9. So let's go to IMDb ratings. There you see 10, 44.2%. And then 1 at 18.6%. And then in the middle. Now, you can start to statistically understand based on the thumbs up and the thumbs down. Now, the newer comments aren't going to be, they're not going to be as, because they're newer comments, right? 7 out of 10, okay, forgettable. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit to some of the older comments. Just a little bit. So here we say, let's start here. This is probably still pretty recent. 10 out of 10. Thank you. So these are the scores on Stranger Things, IMDb, user reviews. Now, if you look at the bottom, 414 downvotes to 398 helpful. What that says, more people disagree with that than agree with it. If the majority of people on here were of the same ilk, again, it's ratio. The next one, 10 out of 10. 1K to 925. It gets worse. Another one, 10 out of 10. More people say no. That's wrong. These downvotes don't come out from nowhere. If anything, the robots, these companies will pay robots to give 10s, right? They will pay these companies that go out and they do robotic things. I wonder if yeah, see a lot of these contributors, they have one review under their name. They'll have one. And that's why you know they're bots. 10 out of 10. Like all this 629 downvotes to 523 upvotes. You have more people downvoting. 7 out of 10, so that's kind of like in the middle. 2 out of 10. And again, this tells you the exact same thing. 2 out of 10. 607 people agree. 207 people disagree. 10 out of 10. Oh, that's a newer. Let's go to see all. Actually, I cried again. Look at the down votes. 856 to 698. When you go see a really good movie in IMDb, like an actual good movie, it will have more. It'll be consistent with how the. But this is something that I don't think 10 out of 10. Again, it is ratioed. A newer comment, 10.8. But you want to get into the hundreds, right? Ratioed, 202 to 266. You want to get at least into the hundreds. But again, even if you look, 3 out of 10. This is what and if you get when you see the 6 out of 10s, the 5 out of 10s, the 7 out of 10s, but the 5 of the 6s, that's where you see the parity. 5 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So a lot of these are still newer ones. 10 out of 10, you see the ratioed. 10 out of 10 ratioed. 10 out of 10, 414 to 267. More people are on here that disagree with that. But where are all their votes? Their votes don't exist. You should have more negative votes because all of the down votes. Look, no one's going to pay money. Nobody's going to pay money to sabotage. Who's going to pay money to sabotage Stranger Things? If anything, look, paying a few $100,000 to get a few bot votes for Netflix is a rounding error on their balance sheet. They wouldn't even miss $500,000. This is why Rotten Tomatoes, there's so many of these Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb stuff I am suspect of constantly. 6 out of 10. I mean, that's where I think most. 2 out of 10. So lazy, predictable, and boring. Well, I don't disagree with it. But look at the votes. 496 4. There are more people that dislike it on a statistical basis. But yet statistically, they're trying to say that there's 3 times more people that like it. When literally, in the thumbs up and thumbs down, we get evidence, post after post, that is not the case. 5 out of 10. 500 found helpful, 202. And this is what I look at. 10 out of 10. 258 found it helpful. 453 said, no. These are, same thing, ratioed. When something is ratioed. 6 out of 10. The 5 out of 10s, the 6 out of 10s, the 4 out of 10. There's like 3 times more people voting for 3. So this is ancillary evidence that does not jive with the fact that all of these people are voting 10s. Well, where are all these people coming from that are saying no? Look, they delete 1s and 2s. If you say the wrong thing, this is a matter of fact. If you say the wrong thing on IMDb, If you say it's a 1 or a 2 or a 3 because of anything related to DEI, delete it. No questions asked. Three out of 10. 311 people found it helpful. 140 found it not helpful. I don't think. So you can go on. There's a lot of comments. You can go on, and on any movie or TV show on IMDb, you can do this and get a pretty good understanding of how the masses are voting. Don't do it by score, because IMDb, and again, you saw all of the down votes and all of the up votes for a lower score. Statistically, there are way more low scores than there are 10s, but somehow it's almost half of every score is a 10. Statistically, there's something wrong. Even if you don't believe that what I'm saying is a matter of fact, what is a matter of fact, statistically, it doesn't make sense what they're trying to say. It doesn't. IMDb is pulling a fast one on you. All you got to do is see the upvotes and the downvotes. Which way is it ratioed? You could do this on any movie or TV show. If it's ratioed to the downside, that means they've been deleting negative scores, because you cannot delete upvotes or downvotes. Those stay in the system. And so when I see this on Stranger Things, because it was not a 7.9 season. It wasn't. I think most people will agree. I think most people would agree consensus. It was a 6. That's what I think. 6 to 6.5. You got your extreme haters, you got your extreme lovers. In the middle, you got about a 6.5. That's what I think the real score for Stranger Things is. Did I enjoy it? It was kind of yes, because of the characters and the way they kind of construct things. I even enjoyed one of the worst TV shows of all time, The Acolyte, because it was just pure fun hate watching. Like, it was so bad. It was just great to see how bad Kathleen Kennedy can keep pumping out product from Lucasfilm. Well, now that, from what I understand, they've delayed Ahsoka season 2. That's or a good chance it might be delayed. I mean, it could be delayed for so many other reasons. So this is why, and now Rotten Tomatoes is, I find, a little bit more. So if you look at their popcorn meter, 55%. That feels about right? 55%. Based on what we've seen on IMDb, based on the upvotes and downvotes, the ratioed, everything was landing between a 5 and a 6. That's where sort of your up ratio and your down ratio was kind of leveling off. It was all leveling off mathematically, statistically, right around 5 or 6. If you go to Rotten Tomatoes, they got a 55% popcorn meter. So it kind of works out. This was not a fan favorite season. It really wasn't. Now, the people that love Stranger Things are going to love Stranger Things. I'm not going to say I disliked it. There's parts of it I disliked. I really did. I really like Hopper. I really do. I think Winona Ryder, the story that was contained, I mean, there is just some real, oh, geez. There's so many things about season 2, 3, and 4 I do not remember, and I'm not going to go back and watch it. I have no desire to. I'm so busy I can barely watch things coming out in real time. But I'm not going to go rewatch it. I mean, I'm done with Stranger Things after this. I have no need to revisit it. I'm not going to revisit it like I do earlier seasons of Game of Thrones. I watch the early Star Trek. I watch, what else do I watch? Lord of the Rings movies, Tombstone, right? Some of these movies that we call Matrix, some of these movies we go back and revisit. TV shows, what other TV shows do I revisit once in a while? Next Generation, Star Trek sometimes. Not as much. It's really kind of, I'm growing away from it. But anyway, you get the point. So even on the popcorn meter, with 55% seems about right. You can see, you can see some of the, is that, you see what some of the people are saying about this. You want to build a general consensus. Now, what other people are saying does not have anything to do with what you think it is. It's an opinion. If you like it, you like it, right? I'm a screenwriter, so I will look at it at a completely different perspective. And I've said this once, I'll say it again. What they should have done with Vecna, when Vecna was dying, impaled, they should have made him transform back to the 12-year-old kid. Just as Winona's about to strike and decapitate him, he turns back to the 12-year-old kid, and he dies as the 12-year-old kid. Because there's nothing more powerful in a screenplay where all of a sudden there's this character that we hate so much. They are the antagonist beyond any degree of we know he is the central point, and all of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, the coin is flipped, and we see a 12-year-old kid. It wasn't his fault. He turned into Vecna because of the stone. Oh, and that's the other thing with the end of the stone thing surviving, right? That stone thing can come at a future day. That's another thing, creating a new series for Netflix. It was the L thing. Is she alive? Of course, whether she's alive or dead, it doesn't matter. There's a chance that they could make her alive, and that's all that matters to Netflix, right? That's all that matters. If Netflix wants to create an 11 series 15 years from now, it's open-ended. So not even the president, CEO of Netflix knows whether 11 is alive. If they decide not to make a series, she's dead. If they decide to include her in a future series, she's alive. But that door is open. Whether Holly and her friends of Dungeons and Dragons, because that's the next generation, if they decide, it's whether they decide to make it. The options are there. The rock there. But if we got rid of Vecna, he should have died. Could have died as a sympathetic character. We could have cried for Vecna, the 12-year-old boy, right? Would have been a powerful ending. Powerful ending. I thought the decapitation of Vecna, there's no need for it. There was absolutely no need for it. As a matter of fact, I think it took away from the satisfaction of the ending. I think it did. There's no reason for Winona Ryder to come and that was freaking violent. There's not even Conan the Barbarian, or I'm trying to think of the most brutal scenes in a movie, because it was swing after swing after swing at someone's neck. That was... Should have let Vecna turn into a 12-year-old kid. Again, you just got to imagine it, right? She's angry. She's about to swing, and all of a sudden you see him go back to the kid. She can't swing, and all of a sudden there's this realization, right? It would have been powerful. Would have been powerful. So anyway, as we see with Stranger Things, that it went up 1%. You see that went up 1% during the time in the last 5 minutes. It went from 55 to 56%. And that's why when you go through IMDb says 7.9. I say bullshit. And you can tell by the upvotes and the downvotes. Where are we going here? There we go. Make sure everything's in upvotes and downvotes. When you find it's ratioed here and then ratioed, you can kind of find that middle ground. So I think Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.5 and a 6. You could argue 6.5 for season 5 of Stranger Things. That's, but again, IMDb, they are the classic cheaters. The classic cheaters. There's one company that got a multi-million-dollar fine, right? Fashion Nova, for changing scores. Where's you know what? When you're changing scores based on opinions, you're trying to forcing us to buy something that is not a full representation of the audience score. You're lying about it. So you're trying to get me to spend money on a lie, which is why Fashion Nova, you can Google it. Google Fashion Nova, and the fine that they got for miffing the numbers. Why is not everyone else getting the same thing? Because we are being manipulated into numbers that are not true. That's frustrating with IMDb. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Even, oh my God. I think, what was one of the worst, I think the worst TV series of the year is easily, well, Ironheart at a 4.5. Probably be sitting like at a 3.3. I mean, yeah, Ironheart was literally one of the worst. Oh my God. So anyway, that is, oh, my friends, that is, where's, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. That. Yeah. Yeah, that is what it is. I don't trust IMDb scores. I don't. I do not. Mjolnir, I play Dungeons and Dragons. I love me Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry, dude, we went off the rails over here. What do you guys do? What are you guys doing in chat, man? What? Oregon Trail will always have a special place in my heart. Ellie, Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Look, it's an end. It's an end of an. Look, it's an end of an era, right? It is an end of an era. It is, whether you like Stranger Things or not. It's the end of an era. It's the end of one of the last great. There will be another one. People say, "Oh, there'll be another TV show, maybe not movie. There'll be another TV show that captures the hearts and imaginations." Look, Stranger Things came out of nowhere, right? Absolutely out of nowhere. No one expected it. But if you go back and you watch that first season, if you go back and watch that first episode, you get it. And I did. It's like, wow, this is good writing. I get why I really enjoyed this. The first season of Stranger Things. Because they had a small budget. They had to rely on good story. If you got no budget, it's like, okay, we can't do that explosion. We have to, we can only do like, a Demogorgon, maybe just a, and you have to rely on storytelling to be captured. And perhaps that's the argument to say when a producer says, we want 150 million, you get 80 million, and I want story out of you. I don't want spectacle to the point where you're compensating with bad story. We just make it bigger, make it bigger and badder. We'll have two guys underneath a 500-foot mind flayer with little, jabbing. Oh, that'll help. Little tiny bullets, like a 500-foot tall thing being hit with. Did you see how big the mind flayer was when Elle came flying? Like, oh my God. You don't have, okay. I mean, that's, but it is the end of an era. It is the end of an era. And the whole thing is going to go, is Elle alive or not? She's alive if they decide to do, the answer to both is yes and no. Or it's both. If they don't do a spring-off series when she's 40 years old, when Millie Bobby Brown is 40, she's dead. If they never bring the character back, she died. If they bring the character back, she's alive. That's how these things work with studios. They just want the options. They'll do market research before they start a new script or something about 11, David Arbor will come back and he'll be like, Winona, they'll do something. They will 100%, there'll be a reunion. Just like Doomsday. You guys see did you guys see the trailer with Chris Hemsworth? You see that one? I don't know what people expect from Doomsday, but I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted to on the computer because I had to practice 2 hours a day. Thank you, Zara. Zara, that's impressive for real. Went to an art school for. Ooh, I like that. I'm low-key obsessed with art. I'm obsessed. I like art. I like it. Look, as a screenwriter, I'll be honest, I like I'm a sci-fi guy. I mean, that's the whole reason behind the channel, right? Dimension Zero. We're sci-fi. We're horror. We are fantasy. I'll cover anything in that genre. Science fact, science fiction. I was also worked on Wall Street for years as an economic analyst. I was also a market maker with ARCA, Instant and Island for NYS. So, you know, economics is in my wheelhouse. And I was talking earlier in the show, guys, about AI. So I'm 2 feet deep into AI. I'm trying to, you know, and literally new models were just released. I talked this about earlier in the show. New models were released that are absolutely stunning. I'm creating videos for $1, 10 to 12 second videos that look almost as good as a $50,000 production. One of my good director buddies, he's from New Zealand. Aye, mate. How you doing, mate? He's good, I got to show him. There's 2 of them actually. They will be shocked. They'll be absolutely shocked. And I think that is a big thing with 2026 is knowing and understanding where AI might be able to benefit your life. And that's where hopefully I'll be able to bring some good information as to maybe it's a side hustle. I don't know. Maybe it is helping with your repertoire of what you do or creating projects with your kids, knowing how to do it. If you're doing YouTube videos, if you're doing TikTok, whatever it is, right? Content generation, good content generation. That's art is subjective. Yes, it is. True that. But that is, you know, I know that there are people ferociously in love with the Stranger Things. I'm sad to see it go. When I saw the epilogue of all the characters kind of saying goodbye, I'm never happy. It's always sad. Even if you see them go on in different things, it's like Lord of the Rings. Even though I read the books, you know, you see Frodo and everyone going to Valinor with everybody, and Sam is left, and it's a happy ending, but it makes you kind of sad, right? That's and I mean that's what a good story does at the end of the day. You like the characters so much that just bidding them farewell, knowing that it could be the last time you see them, or at least last time you see them for a very long time, is the part that kind of, you know, makes you feel sad. Mobland. Have you guys seen Mobland? I love it. I love Mobland. I have to. Landman, right? Landman. That's. I have to watch that with Billy Bob Thornton. Everyone says. Oh, literally! I just get the. Who sent this to me? Google Chrome, Netflix.com just sent me. Am I allowed to show this? I think I can show this. This is pretty cool. Netflix, like they're watching. Is Netflix watching my freaking stream? Netflix literally just sent a in-stream. All right. You know what? This is confused. I'm going to take this down. Well, this is good timing. Oh, not background, backdrop. There we go. Take that down. There we go. That's better. Netflix just sent this. And I am in Canada right now. I just moved from Los Angeles to back to Canada, which I'm not going to say my plans in terms of when I'm back. I spent half of my life in the United States and half of my life in Canada. So I kind of have a choice between both. I go to wherever I feel is best. May 11th, I moved from Los Angeles. I don't think I would ever move back. I will never move back to Los Angeles. If I go anywhere, it'd be like the Carolinas, Tennessee. I would go to yeah, I think it was somewhere around there. I think it would be Stranger Things. Oopsie doopsie. Stranger Things, number 1, number 2, Runaway, number 3, Ricky Gervais. I gotta watch that. Ricky Gervais, right? Immortality or Immortality. Well, I'm dreaming. Mortality. Emily in Paris. Man versus Baby, new on Netflix. The Great Flood? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, that sucked. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, that was terrible. Top 10 movies in Canada today. Tarot, yada, yada, yada. Worth the Wait. Oh, Gladiator 2. Oh, geez. I tried watching Gladiator 2. Couldn't do it. Guys, I couldn't do it. I don't know if you guys watched it. I couldn't do it.
Jennifer Aniston.
The Actor Awards. It's live right now?
And I'm an actor.
I am an actor. I told him to turn away.
To be an actor, playing an actor, receiving an actor by a guild of actors, it's
Oh,
pretty
God.
exceptional.
You know what I hate about the live shows? I don't think we see anything that's particular. Yeah, I don't think we see. I mean, that's kind of like, yeah. One thing that drives me crazy about the whole reward shows. Maybe it's you guys, same thing, right? It's the award shows are basically a whole bunch of really, really, really rich people coming together to pat each other on the back and, oh, good job. It was really in a world that is where a lot of people are struggling, right? Are struggling to survive. To see these people who are uber wealthy patting each other on the back, even as someone who is, as a screenwriter, it's hard to watch sometimes. It's hard to watch because it looks like their sympathy is not with the average person. Their sympathy is not with the average person struggling, trying to pay the bills. It's with other causes, not the human cause of suffering in their own country. That's what it seems like to me. What if we got some comments here? What if we get to Mjolnir? My whole life is synchronicity. Honestly, I don't know what I would do without it now. I jumped in. Wait, that happened to you in 2017? We're jumping in late in the conversation. Everything happens for a reason, exactly when it's supposed to. Well, that's an interesting... So Mjolnir, do you believe in determinism? Is that what you're saying? Determinism? Because there's a very good argument for determinism. Doesn't matter what you do, we actually don't have free will. From the very beginning of our universe, when the first molecules and particles started, everything could be calculated based on a mathematical. If you had every single bit of information, everything, if you were a deity and had that information, you could compute every single particle's trajectory, action, reaction of everything else, and that there would be a mathematical certainty, even to the point of your neurons, the synapses snapping. It is a logical, mathematical certainty of all it is particles reacting to each other. And that starts the start of time to the end of time. Everything is already, it's determinism. It's all set. There's no free will. I'm not going to get into the God stuff. I'm not going to get into the God. My whole family reality changed. It was mostly terrifying. Pamela, hey Pamela. Musk says we won't have to work by 2030. No, that's it. That's interesting, right? I know. I've seen that. Basically, you're going to have a whole bunch of robots working, and there's going to be. So basically, if who owns the companies, right? So if like 10 billionaires own everything, you're going to have to tax them 90%. And that 90% goes to, basically you have communism, you have socialism, uber utter socialism. And I guess at that point in time, it's whether someone decides to start something of their own, right? If they choose. But otherwise, I mean, the argument is sound. The argument is sound with regards to what Elon Musk is saying. But setting up a system from a free market capitalist system to a system that is fully robotic and AI, where we don't work, but then we are all useless, right? We are all useless. Why have 10 billion of us? We only need a few million human beings. Indirectly or directly, you're basically wiping out the human race because there's no need for us to exist. Our economic benefit is zero. When your economic benefit is zero, what are you here for? It sounds utopian, but it's dystopian. That's the paradox. What Elon Musk is talking about is utopian and dystopian. It is this, and you could argue either way that sort of situation or what he's talking about will or could turn into either scenario. Hunger Games, Borg. You know what? Does everyone got the chip implants? And then you're literally, I don't know if you could control it. If you're thinking about inorganic computer chips communicating with synapses in your brain, blindness is solved, right? Blindness is cured. Because you can imagine if you put a computer chip in, just like it's in my computer here, and I'm broadcasting through this thing to you guys, you could put a computer chip in your brain, Wi-Fi, and you could have 5 cameras. All of a sudden, it's better because when you're not using your own eyes and you have one frame of reference with your vision, you might put a chip in and all of a sudden you could see 12 different cameras, 12 different things at the same time. Whatever's on your computer screen, you could see in your brain. It's being transmitted. Do you remember South Park? Alec Baldwin and Cartman, they went on Shitter. It was called Shitter. Remember Shitter? Yeah, man, I'm on Shitter. Do you remember? You guys remember that episode? You got the computer chips put in there. South Park was 1 or 2 decades ahead of their time. And there was only 2 people on Shitter. It was Alec Baldwin and Cartman. Eric Cartman and Alex Baldwin. Shitter. Yes, yin yang, mother, father, male, the human centipod. I'm not even going there. Oh, Zara. I'm not touching. The centipad. Yeah. I'm not even touching it. Not even touching it. I've watched the movie. I don't think I want to. Why can't it read? Positive, negative, light, and darkness, good and evil. Yes. So that is kind of, when you start thinking about, and that was another thing with Stranger Things. Manufactured tension. That was one of the problems. So as a screenwriter, when you're writing scenes so basically your main tension you want with the main storyline, and all of these things, the supporting characters and cast that sort of swirl around the main storyline, they had to manufacture tension because there really was no tension. The most ineffectual Vecna had so much power, he can get into anyone's mind, but he never used his power. He didn't kill anybody. Vecna had all this power. He couldn't even kill a 10-year-old girl. He couldn't do anything against Holly. He tried to grab her. Why didn't he just go into her mind? And then a 500-foot tall. Where were all the Demogorgons? I mean, the Demogorgons should have been all over the place when they were fighting the 500-foot tall mind flare. I mean, there's so many things that you had to turn your brain off for Stranger Things, especially season 5. You had to just turn the switch off. No, and that's fine. You know what? That's okay. That's okay. If a TV show is going to make it with this many millions of viewers, it is beyond that. I might watch parts of season 5 one more time. I might watch the whole season one more time. Like, when you get tired, you go to sleep and you think, I'm going to watch a half hour of something. It might be Stranger Things season 5, just so I'll just, go through it once again. And look, in 1 year from now, I will literally forget most of it. I will. Just like I forgot most of season 2, 3, 4. Season 1, I'm a little bit better on, but, I mean, I don't. I'm looking forward to Mobland. There's a few other TV series that I have not watched that I know that are really good. I've been so busy this year. I spent all year trying to leave Los Angeles, moving out of. I spent 20 years in Los Angeles. Guys, if you got anyone from Los Angeles, it's what is happening? This is like social de-evolution, de-civilization. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Gavin, you're a crap ass governor. You don't know what the frick you're doing. Go back to your wines or whatever you want to do. You've screwed up the entire state. California should be a powerhouse, right? California should be a powerhouse. Who's talking Demogorgon? Sinister. The Demogorgons had enough and went to eat at the 80s diner. That's where I was. Is that what they were? I love a good 80s diner. Yeah. I mean, I was old. I'm an 80s, kid. I graduated in 1985. The Stranger Things kids, like class of 89, right? So they're 4 years. Actually, because I was actually 1 year earlier. So they're 4 or 5 years younger than me. Or they would be, like, in today's years, right? So... But it was good. It is kind of sad that we're not going to get anything else from these characters. Good characters stay with us. But there was manufactured tension because they couldn't manufacture the tension. Vecna was such an ineffectual antagonist. He couldn't kill anything. He only got a few. He couldn't even keep control of a few kids. Right? He's supposed to be all this powerful. He couldn't even keep control of a few kids. The kids, and then Eleven and Callie come in, and they're all at the table doing a seance. And then El comes and pulls Vecna away, like he disappears for like 10 minutes. But he comes back, and then Callie jumps on the table before she stabs him. Hello, brother. Well, why didn't you just do this first and then say hello, brother? That's my surprise face. I mean, look, if we ever made TV and movies exactly like it is for real life, then we wouldn't watch. We wouldn't watch. We wouldn't watch real life on TV or the movies. We wouldn't. I got here. Nancy equals Rambo, right? Remember Nancy? 92-pound Rambo. I was gonna do this meme. I was also gonna do this meme. I was gonna do on one side. I was gonna do the Stranger Things crew versus Avengers, and I was gonna do a meme with who would win, the Avengers or the Stranger Things crew. I mean, look, the Stranger Things crew, they killed Vecna, they killed the Mind Flayer, wiped out the Abyss. They might be able to wipe out the entire Avengers crew as well. It's true. They might have a good chance at whooping the Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Steve Rogers, Captain America, v Stranger Things. I think Dustin one-on-one with Thor. I think Dustin would win. Nancy versus the Hulk. Nancy from Stranger Things versus the Hulk. I'd probably say Nancy would win that one. I'd probably say. Dude, SpaceX going on right now. Oh, is it? Yeah. What are they launching? Hold on. Oh, the Falcon 9, eh? Hold on a sec. This could be interesting. There it is. Oh, it is. It is launching. It launched. Ooh, there it is. That's the landing, right? Landing of the rocket booster. You know what? If I play, if I play the sound, that's okay. I'm going to play the sound. If I get copyrighted, I'll just delete it out. There's no sound. Oh, it's a quiet broadcast. Okay, well that's the.
4 we just saw represented the
Oh, there it is.
time that SpaceX has recovered a booster there.
There we go. Oh, this is space flight now. This isn't even SpaceX. Should be
Roughly
okay.
A minute remaining before the conclusion of the burn of the upper stage engine. Satellite set to deploy.
Now, if you're just joining us today, we have had a successful launch and landing of our first stage Falcon 9 booster. This is for the Cosmos SkyMed FM3 mission.
Oh, is that it? Oh, we got some SpaceX. You know, I realized I forgot to do the news story about SpaceX and the problem that they're having, or the problem they're lowering the orbit of 4,500 satellites.
Coming up in about 20 seconds, we have SECO 1, or second engine cutoff 1.
It's pretty amazing that somewhere up in space, this is actually going on right now, right? I mean, it's pretty cool.
Stage 2 has entered terminal guidance.
It's pretty cool that we can send rockets up at this pace. How many? 144 launches. SpaceX was an incredible amount.
Shutdown.
And there you heard a successful cutoff of our second stage engine and waiting for confirmation of good orbit.
It really is. I mean, look, the biggest thing.
Nominal orbit insertion.
The biggest thing holding us back is.
And there we heard the call out for good orbit.
Two things: radiation and outer space, microgravity.
Confirmation of a nominal orbit insertion.
Both will kill us, right?
The deployment of the satellite is coming up next here in less than 2 minutes.
The radiation in space, if we're going to Mars, and then when we're at Mars, obviously the habitats need to protect from a lot of cosmic radiation, a lot, because without it, the human being's going to die. But then you talk about 30% gravity. How long does the human being survive? The physiology, the biology of a human being survive? And then you're taking 6 to 9 months to get to Mars. How do you survive in zero gravity? Yeah, you got to get on the treadmill and whatnot and exercise for like 2-3 hours every single day. But even astronauts are in the space station for months, right? They come down and they got 2, 3, 4 weeks of hard work to try and get back into shape. And they cannot stay up there any longer than that. So I don't know. I mean, look, we're going to the moon. We're going to fly around the moon once. I think a 4-crew mission this year, right? The Artemis program, NASA. We're going to the moon, baby. NASA beat
12.5 minutes post liftoff and just about 30 seconds remaining before deployment of the satellite there on your screen.
NASA beat SpaceX to the moon. To the moon, baby, to the moon. Jillian says, I got to translate to English. Where are you from, mate? I'm from Ecuador near Colombia, Julian says. Welcome, my friend.
Load separation confirmed.
Oh, Phoenix. I love Phoenix, Creative. I love Phoenix.
And a successfully deployment of Cosmos SkyMed. And that brings us to the end of our live mission coverage. We would like to thank the Italian Space Agency for entrusting us with their spacecraft today. And we also want to say thank you to the Range
There we go.
and Federal Aviation Administration for their support, and to you, our viewers.
There we go,
Thank
my
you again
friends.
for joining us for our first mission of 2026. Be sure to check out spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information on upcoming launches, and follow us at SpaceX on X. From all of us here at SpaceX, wishing you...
And with the successful deployment of the Cosmos SkyMed spacecraft, that'll go ahead and just about do things for us here on our Callisto facility wrapped in.
There you go. Thank you, Creative, for that heads up. We got a little bit. We missed it. I should have known. I should have known that there was a launch, because usually I keep myself pretty much up to speed with this kind of, because I like putting it on just the launches, right? And then when you get the thing coming back down and landing, I like that stuff. That stuff is always. I mean, we see that we see it a lot, right? We do see it a lot, but it's always nice. It's always nice to see. It's always nice to see. Sorry for the hijacking the conversation. You're a fan of Phoenix. I do. Yo, it's a beautiful place. Phoenix is like it's the same. Phoenix is like a cold place. There's basically three months of the year where you can't do something because it's so freaking hot outside. And if you do something outside, you got to be very careful. It's like Las Vegas, right? It's so hot for 3 months. It's like living in northern United States or Canada. 3 months of the year, it gets pretty cold. Now the snow will melt and it'll come and it'll melt, it'll come, it'll melt, it'll come. But yeah, like, a place like Phoenix, it's so warm. Las Vegas, it's so hot. You can't do anything at 110 degrees. 42, 43 Celsius. I used to wakeboard when I used to live in the Okanagan. I used to wakeboard, and sometimes we'll get up to low 40s Celsius, which is, called 110 Fahrenheit. The water no longer refreshes, right? It's so hot. The water no longer refreshes. You can't jump into the water and feel refreshed. Yeah, it's being the complete opposite of Minnesota. Exactly. Yeah, the 3 months of the year back and forth. So, yeah, it's Zara's going live tonight. 9:14. Zara left. She went live. All right. I'm gonna have to check that out then. Our air cut out at 170 degrees this summer. Yeah. Oh, geez, really? That's dangerous. If you're at 17 degrees Fahrenheit and your air cuts out, you might as well be in the upside down trying to fight Vecna. That's what you got to be. You'll have a better chance fighting Vecna. Because Vecna couldn't kill anything. He couldn't kill any of the characters. He couldn't kill anything. He couldn't even do anything to a bunch of 12, 10-year-old kids. The kids make him look stupid. Vecna was the most ineffectual antagonist in the history. Holy jeez. He had more power. He was like, he could go one-on-one with Superman and stand his ground. But no, the teenagers of Hawkins, Indiana were more powerful than freaking Vecna and the Mind Flayer. I don't get it. Look, the writing could have been better. I was in the hospital fighting valley fever. Oh, dude. It's your birthday next week, though, right, Creative? It's your birthday next week. Anyone in the chat, any of you guys watching, you got a birthday, tell me about it. I'll get cakes. I'll get cakes and birthday streamer. I won't do that, but I will. Yep. 43. I think you're 43 next week, right? So that is no, that's good. I wish I was 43. I'm not 43. I'm a little bit older than that. So that's Capricorn. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. Scorpio. But did you watch Creative? Did you watch Stranger Things? Thank you, Creative. Thank you. I try and work out. You know, when you're 58 years old, you gotta do stuff that you gotta keep working out. That's the thing. Did you watch Stranger Things? Anyone in the chat, did you guys watch Stranger Things? I know you guys did. I know a lot of people don't like chatting. Even when I'm on a stream, typically I don't, if I'm watching someone else's stream, I don't chat very often. I probably should. Because I saw the first 2 seasons, but then kind of dropped off. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's hard. There's so much TV nowadays. Most of it's not good. Stranger Things is like the last. It's like it was a social event, right? There's so many. Netflix is going to get so many views out of this. I think it's already number 2 at almost 9 billion minutes watched. 9 billion minutes watched, and it's going to have a lot of repeat views. So it might beat Squid Game. I think Squid Game's number 1, so it might beat Squid Game. It's a phenomenon. The writing. It got worse as the budgets got bigger. The writing got worse, and that's what happens. That's just what happens. They compensate. You see that all the time. It's almost like if I was doing a show and then the studio said, okay, we'll give you, $300 million for the next season. I don't want it. I don't want it. Give me $100 million. I'll write you some good freaking stories. I'll rely on good story to sell this thing. And I don't want my crew, cinematographer, all these guys relying on spectacle. I want to rely on story because it's story that sells us, right? It's the characters that sell us. When you lose that fact and your story becomes sloppy, like season 5 of Stranger Things, blocky, sloppy. Every scene is exposition explaining itself, and then you have another. Oh, we'll come up with a plan. Yada yada yada. It's not the way. Preacher. I did watch a little bit of Preacher, but I never finished it. Creative. I never finished Preacher. I've heard good things. I heard. I got to finish watching the Stargate series and a few other ones. I just have no. Preacher's the funniest anti-church thing. Yeah, I like the actor. What's his name? What was I forgot. I always forget that dude's name. Where is it? Yeah, Dominic Cooper. Yeah. I like him. He also played in Warcraft, right? He was what's his name? The King in Warcraft. I actually liked Warcraft. The movie Warcraft with Travis Fimmel and whatnot. I was hoping there was going to be a second one, but I don't know if it's going to happen. He was in Lincoln Hates Zombies. Yeah. He's actually he's a good. I like him. He's easily likable. Easily likable character. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of like, who is the most likable character in Stranger Things? Depending on your perspective, I think who would win that, or vampires, I can't remember. Yeah. Hopper, I think Hopper might win that. Hopper or 11, or Winona Ryder's character might. It would be an interesting. If the fans voted, who would they vote for the most? I think Jim Hopper, 11, or Joyce. For sure. I think it'd be those 3. I know a lot of people like Finn, Dustin. I mean, Will came out. He doesn't like girls. He likes, he's, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But hey, hopefully, what? Oh, Vecna, Jamie Campbell Bower. I think he's got a future. I think he's got a future as an actor. Jamie Campbell Bower. He might have a future. I didn't mind his performance, although he was covered up in most of. He was in what was that with Horizons? He's not a bad actor. And he's really, being himself, he's actually a charming British guy when he's in interviews. Yeah, Hopper is definitely there. All right, guys, well, we're going to leave it there for this evening. Everyone, please, creative, everyone, you guys have a great weekend. It's the last weekend for this whole, and then January 6th. January 6th is the, I was just talking to my friend in Los Angeles. Three Kings Day, Dia de los Reyes. Happy Dia de los Reyes. Although we will be back on Monday, but of course that's when you buy the cake and you have the kids in it. Whoever gets it has to make tamales on March 2nd or something like that. Three Kings Day. It's Three Kings Day. It's basically the end of Christmas, so you can keep your Christmas tree up till January 6th. That is, the 6th. Yeah. I'm not a religious guy, but you could, you're totally allowed to. I have a lot of Mexican friends in Los Angeles, so that's what they do. They celebrate Three Kings Day. Three Kings Day. Love it. The baby Jesus in the pan. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. Have a great weekend. We are back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and sometimes Friday when I'm in the mood. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, where we talk science, science fiction, whatever it is, we talk it. And I want you guys to have a great weekend. And I will see you on the other side. Good night, creative. Good night, everybody in the chat. Good night, my friends. We'll see you next week. My name is Danny Alex, and this is Dimension Zero. Good night.
Do it live. Get it.